Recurve works with utilities across the country to help decarbonize the grid and to optimize and make cost-effective energy efficiency and demand response programs. When we started this project, Ameren had an extremely ambitious goal of an 80% reduction in carbon by 2050. But even as we are underway, that goal has jumped from 80% to 100%, with an additional $8 billion invested in renewable energy. This really aggressive goal is going to create major changes to Ameren's supply mix and grid, moving from predominantly coal to a mix of renewables and natural gas. This transition is going to create major changes to Ameren's load shape, new peaks and valleys based on these intermittent resources that stand in the way of decarbonization and are also incredibly costly to Ameren's bottom line. Recurve's goal is to enable behind-the-meter demand flexibility to help solve this problem. This is consistent with Ameren's approach, where you can see that starting with onboarding of increased renewables and eventually retiring coal power plants, through that entire span, energy efficiency and demand response is a consistent part of the mix. We help do this by the Recurve platform, which looks at all meters on a utility's grid and provides three primary products. The first, Resource Planner, which is what we deployed in this pilot, looks at all customer meters and helps the utility identify what is the potential for behind-the-meter flexibility and which customers will benefit the most, both on their bottom line to themselves on their bills and to the grid. Fleet Manager enables the utility to track these projects behind meters in real time to create a virtuous cycle of continuous improvement and optimization. The third piece, Flex Ledger, you can think of as the accounting system for flexibility. How do you keep track of all these projects, value them so they can be claimed, integrated into procurement, and third parties can get paid?
Hey, Matt, it was really impressive how quickly you guys were able to turn around the data and the analysis once we were able to move the data over to you. Maybe you can talk to us about the data process and how you are able to do this so quickly for the utilities at such scale.
Thanks, Ram. You correctly identified that ETL, extraction, transformation, and loading of data, is the crux of everything. This is an example of the data flow for Ameren, the steps that we had to go through to take their raw data, clean it, and load it into our platform. Once we got there, we ran a series of data audits to validate that the data we're looking at meets all of the requirements, that there aren't any major anomalies. And we do that internally and also with the client to make sure that we agree that we're dealing with good quality, clean data. And then when we run our actual platform on it, we validate that it meets all of the specific requirements of the CalTrack methods in terms of what is data sufficiency, how do we pick weather stations. All of these important steps have to be followed to ensure consistency of the output. But once we've accomplished all of this, once we have that data flow working and we have a valid method in place, we're a machine. We can automate this process. We can update the data every single night. This is not a one-time exercise, and you can operationalize it in the day-to-day business of the utility.
Thanks, Matt. I think it's important to talk about why we do this. As of August 31st, over 160,000 businesses have closed nationally, and 600,000 jobs have been lost in Illinois due to the pandemic. Nick, your team is working to support Ameren's business customers on a daily basis. What were your goals coming into this project?
We're looking to find those customers that maybe are struggling right now. Right, we've got a climate where businesses are having a hard time staying open. We know that a lot of businesses are closing down. And, we understand that customers, while they may benefit from energy efficiency, they don't have a lot of time to be looking for things like this. And we want to help them there. We want to be able to find those customers that are staying open, that are trying to operate. We want to be able to come to them, right? We want to bring them solutions. And we think we can leverage the Recurve tool to come to those customers that are having a hard time, that are busy with other things, and to say specifically, we recognize that you're operating. We recognize that you've got higher operating costs. We think some of these measures that we have to offer could really help you. And we want to ease that. We want to make it as easy as possible for these customers to participate, to take advantage of what we have, and to make their businesses more efficient.
Thanks, Nick. And thank you to your team for all the hard work you're doing to support the small businesses in Illinois. Let's turn it over to Matt to showcase how the Recurve tool can help streamline those efforts and get support to where it's needed most.
I'm going to start with a quick example. This is a set of actual results from a small business HVAC-focused program. On the left, we have the load shape of the participating customers peaking midday, and this is what we call resource curve, or when the savings happened over the course of a day for these customers, culminating in about 10 megawatts of savings and about $1,000 in grid value. Now we're going to go through and actually target those using the most summer energy with the fastest ramp rate, the ones using HVAC energy. When we do this, we see a very different set of customers with much better results on their bills and to the grid. We now see a peak of energy consumption during that peak period window that we're looking for, and a substantial overall increase in energy savings. So these customers are now saving 18 megawatt hours instead of 10. That's an 80% improvement. And we've tripled the amount of savings during that system peak window, which doubles the grid value back to Ameren. Now we're going to take everything we've learned about Ameren's small business offering and identify those customers most in need who will benefit most from the program. Beginning with 105,000 total meters on the Ameren grid, we're going to start by identifying those in disadvantaged communities who've seen their energy bills increase during COVID. These are the essential businesses staying open, working every day to serve their communities, who have seen their energy costs increase during this very difficult time. Next, we're going to drill down and specifically look for those customers who will have the greatest effect from Ameren's air conditioning service offering. These customers use substantially greater air conditioning energy, nearly 3 times the average, and will see outsized returns in terms of bill savings and much more cost effectiveness back to Ameren and the Illinois ratepayer.
So Nick, now that your team has had the opportunity to dig into the platform, what are some of your goals and next steps coming out of this project?
There are a few goals at Ameren, Illinois that we're really excited about that we think we can leverage the Recurve tool to meet. We are looking to use the AMI data that we have to have better conversations with our customers. We want to be able to have those specific and targeted conversations with customers, meeting them where they are. We understand that businesses are struggling. They don't have a lot of time to be talking with us to figure things out. We want to be able to have good conversations that can move them forward in the best way that's best for everybody. We want to be able to reduce, by doing that, by having that better conversation, we can reduce the cost of bringing customers in to participate in our programs. We want to reduce the cost of acquisition, which frees up dollars that we can use for more incentives for more customers. We have legislative goals through the state. We're all looking to reduce environmental impact and reduce carbon footprint. And this tool, we think, will allow us to be able to get into targeting those measures that have long measure lives. We look for cumulative persistent annual savings in the state of Illinois as part of our legislative goals. And we have certain measures that it's hard to fit the customers for some of those measures. And if we can leverage the tool to understand which customers are a best fit, we really think we'll be able to move more customers through those measures specifically that have longer lives and have deeper savings, which is something we're really excited about.
Thanks, Nick. We're so excited that your team has found value with this tool. Ram, I'm curious, where do you see opportunities for other EPRI members?
As we research the future of customer programs at EPRI to meet the target decarbonization targets for the grid and for the economy as a whole, Recurve offers the tantalizing possibility of addressing 2 of the biggest pain points: the cost of customer acquisition and the cost of administering the programs and the measurement and validation. Through their database targeting of eligible customers, which also enables pay-for-performance programs and automated M&V, Recurve has the potential to accelerate these customer programs, as well as maybe provide services like settlement functions with the ISO in the future.
Thanks, Ram. And a big thank you to Ameren and EPRI for partnering with us through this project. To everybody in our audience, thank you so much for tuning in. And we'd love to schedule one-on-one time with you either this afternoon or later on if that fits better in your schedule. Take care and enjoy the rest of your day.